get underway here at the Indiana Convention Center. The Ohio Roller Girls of Columbus, Ohio versus Cincinnati, a team Tank is no stranger to. Hello, Tank.
What up, Peyton? How's it going? Derby Nation, how you doing this morning? Ohio versus Cincinnati. I know both of these teams well. I started my career in Ohio, then I ended up moving for a job to Cincinnati, so it's exciting to get to see both of these two teams clash here in Indiana. The Battle of Ohio today takes place one state over.
You are absolutely correct, and the crowd has been building slowly. Our first bout was at 9 o'clock this morning. The Chicago outfit over Dairyland from Madison, 158 to 129. This matchup came as a result of Cincinnati losing last night to the Naptown Roller Girls and Ohio losing to the Brew City Bruisers yesterday morning. Both teams coming into this game, Ohio is 11-5 overall, 1-2 against North Central teams. Spoke to Phoenix Buns a couple of weeks ago. She says veteran leadership is a big theme with this team, as is endurance, but what we saw yesterday was Ohio struggling at the jammer position. Not a lot of depth there, and we're about to get underway.
And here we go. We're off and running. Cincinnati starting with the back wall, trying to capture in Hellion Boy. And Kay Lethal working up slowly. Now she's into the Ohio wall on the front end and trying to break through, but it's 4-on-1 for both jammers right now.
And Tank, we're seeing so much of this sort of stroller derby where you can sort of squeeze together or intentionally destroy the pack. As long as you reform it, you don't get a penalty.
Exactly. And right now Derby has resumed to normal right here as walls are being built. Kay Lethal through on the inside lead jammer. Pippi Ripperstockings, though, is all over her this jam. Pippi goes down in front and takes her out.
Oh, that was a big pile up, and now Kay Lethal's got to make up some ground getting back into this one.
Yep, took one to the legs, but it worked out well for Ohio because that allowed Kay Lethal to get sucked back into the pack. Hellion Boy yet to break behind the defense of Karma Crash and Buckhead Betty. And now Kay is out and running, not being held in anymore, and she's looking for points. Hellion Boy continuing to be stuck right here. Phoenix Buns trying to open that up.
She's trying to get the hip whip to even get through that wall of black that's in the front, but they are just making it miserable for her.
Yeah, Cincinnati playing with determined defense today. I talked to Buckhead Betty before this, and you can check her Facebook page right now. She says, I don't talk trash, but I'm here to throw down today. Well, she said some other words, but I can't say them on WFTDA.com.
No, we're too polite for that, and we know the rules. Again, you are watching live coverage of the WFTDA Big Five #, Monumental Mayhem here in Indianapolis, Indiana. I am Peyton Slamming along with Tank.
Well, while we're talking about hashtags, let's talk about #TalkToWFTDA on Twitter. You want to give us your opinion? You want to let us know what you're thinking out there? Go ahead and do it. Get on Twitter, talk to WFTDA. We're checking it all weekend long. I'm going to be checking it at the halftime break, and maybe one of your tweets ends up on the telecast with us today.
And we want to know that you're listening. I want to hear your comments, of course, and if you want to tell us that you love us, too. And we're about to get underway again. Kitty Lickerbottom, who was one of the workhorses for Ohio yesterday against Bruce City, was jamming pretty much every other jam, and Cincinnati gets the lead. Hannah Ochocinco, number 85. I thought she might change her name with Mr. Ochocinco's trade to the New England Patriots.
Well, he might be gone from Cincinnati, but Ochocinco still loves her some Chad Ochocinco. Right now, these two veteran jammers going at it. Hannah going to be the first to get back to the pack, slides in past Amy Spears, gets bumped, looks around, good awareness, now calling it off.
And we do want to give a shout out to some of our sponsors here on WFTDA.com. Rydell Skates, proud partner and the official skates of the WFTDA. I have two pairs myself. Adam Wheels, the official wheel of the WFTDA. And Elemental Technologies, the world's most powerful video processing solutions. Thank you very much.
Well, so far we're looking at a 7-0 game. Cincinnati skating clean so far for the most part. 1-1 in the box right now with Newcomb and Phoenix Buns serving time in the box. Two heavy hitters that are off the track right now.
And we're seeing Hellion Boy and Kay Lethal at the jammer line again. Kay Lethal getting through there, and she is the lead jammer for Cincinnati.
Kay Lethal, an incredible, amazing jammer, is getting out there in space and working it right now. They got to let Hellion Boy go as they let her go. Kay Lethal tripping and stumbling and falling, jumped through, but thing went out. Her bench pleading with her to call off the jam, and she keeps going.
And Hellion Boy, meanwhile, cuts through there, gets 4 points coming off that jam. A little bit of confusion on the part of the Cincinnati bench, trying to get that signal out there, and now Kay Lethal is calling it off.
Yeah, you got to call off that jam earlier. That right now, that was a mistake on Kay Lethal's part that allowed Ohio to get on the board.
You always got to be looking at that bench when you're making that pass. It is critical.
Agreed. Well, you know what else is critical is making sure you're skating on some good stuff like skate court. Take your lead to the next level of skate court, roller derby, flat tracks.
And Derby Skins loves making your hiney shiny. You're listening to live coverage of Monumental Mayhem here in Indianapolis, Indiana. The Ohio Roller Girls in white, the Cincinnati Black Sheep in black and white. It's the Battle of Ohio.
That's right. These two teams separated by about an hour and a half, 2 hour long drive, depending on how fast you move, on I-71 between Columbus and Cincinnati. For the first time ever 2 weeks ago, Ohio did beat Cincinnati. It's the first time an Ohio team had beaten Cincinnati. And
what was the scoring margin there, Tank?
It was very slim towards the end. Cincinnati led the entire game, and then in the last 10 minutes, Skater Kinney got ejected from the game with a high hit, and that allowed Ohio to take advantage of the penalties that Cincinnati had and win the game.
And we are back underway with Hannah Ochocinco, but Ohio is going to get the lead on this one.
Phoenix Buns, former two-sport athlete in college right now, showing what she does, and that is get lead jam and go around this track. Hannah getting caught up in the wake of the pack right now. Handlebars working her over. Hannah having to go back in to avoid the cut.
And we did have a timeout a little bit ago. That was to confirm the penalties for both teams. A little bit of confusion there. And Phoenix Buns gets through there. She is your lead jammer still. She got 4 points, it looks like, coming off the jam. The crafty veteran.
And Hannah now out and around. 10-8 is the score. This could be a lead change if Buns can get in the pack and get points. Slips, falls, up again. Outside, that's going to be lead change.
And you can hear the sea of green and black over to the one side of us. You are listening to live coverage of Monumental Mayhem on WFTDA.com. I'm Peyton Slamming, along with my good friend Tank.
This jam going to be brought to you by Roller Girls Skates. If you've been smacked by RollerGirlsSkates.com yet, stop by their booth to play or check them out online, RollerGirlsSkates.com.
I have not been smacked by them yet.
I'm trying to avoid the smacking myself.
Me too.
And here we go, Kay Lethal back out there on the line for Cincinnati.
With Kitty Lickerbottom for Ohio.
Yet again, veteran jammers. Kitty is now trying to work her way through. Same with Kay, both working against walls. Kay way out front, going to be called lead jam. They're going to have to let that go. That's going to be 20 feet.
I was going to say they got a little bit too far out. Kay Lethal, your lead jammer for Cincinnati. And both of these teams are looking for some redemption after hard losses yesterday.
And there it is. Buckhead Betty tries to get the swing and the miss on Kitty Lickerbottom. Can't hold it. Kay Lethal going to come up on the back end. Now Murder Her leading her in. Buckhead Betty opens the middle. Kay is through. Kay's got one to beat, does so, and calls it. 4 points Cincinnati, 0 for Ohio, and that's going to flip the lead again. Now 14-13 game.
I think we're going to be seeing a lot of that today, Tank, and we want to give a special thanks to Where Will You Get Hit in the Mouth with a little bit of the South. Paparoo, made right here in Indianapolis.
Barracuda now checking in for the Cincinnati Roller Girls. A former original Ohio Roller Girl, played there for a number of years, was a captain of the travel team for a few years, and then ended up taking some time off, had a child, and then when she returned to Cincinnati instead, starting with a new league.
Very interesting strategy on her part, and by the way, her child is very cute.
Yeah, Augie's a great kid. And now we got Hannah trying to work the front end. She's got Amy Spears to beat, outlegs her lead jammer.
And she gets it. Hannah Ochocinco takes off like a shot.
And Hellion Boy now trying to work inside lane. She's through. No, she's going to the box. Power jam Cincinnati.
And Ohio's going to try to wall up here in the front as they come around into the third turn.
Amy Spears trying to race away, but as she did that, Phoenix Buns tried to get her back, and you can see Newcomb tried to enter into this. Ohio doing a good job of killing this penalty minute.
Oh, and Spears, a hard shot to Hannah Ochocinco, gets her out of bounds. She's got to start over coming through that green in the front.
Cincinnati trying to hurt a goat right now. They're all over Phoenix Buns and trying to force her to come out the front. Now Amy Spears going to the box, not going to the box, no.
No, she didn't engage. She got a little too far out, knew she couldn't engage, and just let Hannah go.
Brought Slava now to the box. This is Ohio's strongest pack right here.
And a grand slam for number 85, Hannah Ochocinco.
And now Handlebars is trapped on the back end. This is what Cincinnati does so well, is takes advantage of these power jams by slowing down the gameplay.
And this is something they've been good at for a very long time. I remember watching them 3 years ago coming into Indianapolis against the Naptown Roller Girls and just putting on a show.
Yeah, this has been their bread and butter for a long, long time. And that's going to extend the lead out to 24-13. No, correction, 27-13 Cincinnati.
And you are watching live coverage of the WFTDA Big Five. You can hashtag that on Twitter, hashtag talk2 WFTDA. We want to hear from you. If you give us a hashtag shout out, tell us what you're thinking. Tell us what you think of these teams that are out here. Tell us what you think of Indianapolis if you're here. Also hashtag Monumental Mayhem. That's the name of this tournament, the North Central Regional Tourney.
Kitty Lickerbottom in the white with the star on her helmet for Ohio. Kay Lethal in the black. Kay goes inside line, gets knocked out by Phoenix Buns. Buns getting hit with the major penalty for it, though. No. They keep her in.
Kitty's still trying to get around. Buckhead Betty at the front there. She's trying to cut to the inside and just having a heck of a time.
Yeah, when Buckhead's on, she's on, and it's hard to get around her. A very accomplished skater. Now Kay Lethal working the front against Pippi. Kitty Lickerbottom comes through on the inside. Lead jammer, Ohio.
Cincinnati did a good job of wearing her down, though, as she tried to get through that initial pass.
Kay getting a little push right there by Buckhead coming out the back. Now a 3-2 advantage in the pack for, no, 3-3 in the pack right now. Cincinnati and Ohio even. Lickerbottom going to get there first on this pass.
And this pack has kind of tightened up quite a bit, and Lickerbottom calls it off.
She got 3, Kay got 2. Good work there by Cincinnati to sweep off the back end to the outside, and that opened the inside lane for Kay Lethal.
Your score right now, Cincinnati in the lead, 29 over Ohio, 16 in the battle of 71, I guess we'll call it.
And everybody rolling back right now. Ohio getting right back there in the face of Hellion Boyd, taking a knee to start this thing out. Newcomb there as well. Phoenix Buns still in the box. 4-3 advantage. Cincinnati in the pack.
They're kind of what I like to call snuggling, for lack of a better term. And all of this is completely legal.
It's like a rugby scrum. And there's the inside lane for Newcomb.
And Newcomb just snuck through there like a hot knife through butter, and she is pumped.
Newcomb is an emotional player, and if she can keep it positive and keep that emotion riding high, she can have a hot game. And just like that, she's already back around into the pack.
Meanwhile, skater Kenny, the pivot, coming out for a penalty.
Smart call off by Newcomb.
And a big goose egg for both teams.
That was nice work there by Ohio, forcing Newcomb out to the inside. Therefore, she had to waste that lead jam, call it off, 0-0 points.
Again, Ohio is in the white and green, Cincinnati in the black and white here on WFTDA.com.
This jam going to be brought to you by Dr. Hauschka, the WFTA's official bruise healer. Lose the bruise, but Dr. Hauschka's Ouch Aid. And right now, Hannah Ochocinco on the line against Kitty Lickerbottom.
And what is she doing there with her hands? A little bit of dancing? Maybe a little bit of trash?
Spirit fingers, my friend, spirit fingers.
Oh, spirit fingers.
So Hannah likes to have fun. I mean, that's just the way Hannah is. She's living
up to her name.
Oh, totally. I mean, she's definitely here to skate a good game, but also to entertain. And right now we have an official timeout.
And this jam is also going to be brought to you by Sin City Skates, Big Five Skate Techs. They'll fix your gear or chat about new stuff. So come and see them, and also on the web at sincityskates.com.
So far, Peyton, an interesting game. 29-16 is the score. Both teams having measures of success in this game. Your thoughts on this game so far?
So far, this is kind of what I expected. These two teams very evenly matched. They've got a lot of veteran players on both sides of the card. And as you mentioned, Cincy got beat by Ohio a couple weeks ago for the first time ever, the first Ohio team to beat them.
Yeah, that is correct. You know, a lot of good teams in Ohio. People like Neo and Burning River out of Cleveland and Gym City out of Dayton. But it was the first time that that Cincinnati in recent regional play has been taken down.
A very impressive job on the part of the Ohio Roller Girls. Again, you are watching live coverage of Monumental Mayhem, the WFTDA North Central Regional Tournament, live from Indianapolis, Indiana. I'm Peyton Slamming, along with my friend Tank.
And there we go, Kitty Lickerbottom taking a little shot there. Hannah Ochocinco off the line.
Shot off the line. Again, that is legal. And Hannah Ochocinco is your lead jammer. She takes off. Kitty still having problems getting through. They're still in the back.
And Candy Kickass gets tangled up with Buckhead Betty, and they both go down. Now it's one-on-one Barracuda and Kitty. Barracuda with a nice check right there sends her out of bounds.
And now Barracuda using the booty block. She may get a little bit. Yeah, she finally lets Kitty Lickerbottom go.
Hannah goes sliding out to the corner, gets 1 to Ohio 0.
The official timeout was to confirm penalties, making sure one wasn't reported twice on accident, which sometimes can happen. Referees are human, we think.
I'm pretty sure. I don't think we have any type of test to see if there's some type of like T800 cyborg or anything like that.
I was going to say they're like a robot. I've never seen one reform after an injury out of liquid metal.
I've never seen German Shepherds bark at them, so I'm going to say that they are in fact human. Kay Lethal on the line in the black against Wonder Woman in the white. And
Kay Lethal's already had a heck of a morning for Cincinnati, doing a lot of the jamming for them. Wendra, this is the first time we're seeing her for Ohio thus far, and Wendra had several high-scoring jams yesterday against Brew City.
Wendra's a spitfire, man. Pure athlete. Look for her to get some movement going. Newcomb trying to hold her back. Newcomb with the big shot puts her down.
Newcomb gets her, but she still gets lead jammer.
Yep. Wendra ate that shot but stayed in bounds, and now the walls are working against Kay Lethal on the front. Cincinnati trying to open it up, but that's a strong punch out there with Bratislava, Spears, and Buns on the front end. Wall on the back end now for Cincinnati of Skater Kinney and Newcomb.
And we're going to have a penalty coming up for Ohio.
Spears is box bound, but Kay Lethal still stuck on her first pass.
Bratislava Bruiser going into the penalty box. So now it's 1-1 in the penalty box for these two teams.
Wendra through, Kay Lethal finally out.
And Skater Kinney also coming out. Skater Kinney, a very fiery skater, she always has been. And Wendra calls it off, but not before scoring some big points for Ohio. Oh, and she's got a big smile on her face. She comes out of the ref lane, sort of giving high fives to her peeps that are in the audience watching here live at the Indiana Convention Center.
She looks like she's won an Academy Award there. I mean, she was smiling ear to ear. She got a big round of applause from the crowd there.
Well, 5 points separate these two teams now as we head toward the midway point of this first half of Ohio versus Cincinnati here on WFTDA.com. Tell us what you think. Hashtag us. Hashtag talk number 2 WFTDA. Hashtag WFTDA Big 5 or hashtag Monumental Mayhem. It's because we're by a bunch of monuments in downtown Indianapolis. And we're off.
Well,
and Hannah Ochocinco and Lickerbottom's coming out. This is a power jam for Cincinnati.
2-1-2 micro pack. Buckhead Betty's got sent on her force. Now Candy Kickass is all by herself in the pack, and she falls down, gets up, no pack.
An itty bitty pack.
It's basically an open skate right now for Hannah Ochocinco, and Candy Kickass slowing this thing down. Smart play by Kickass.
Using some good strategy, good solid strategy to kind of cut a path for Hannah. Now it's getting a little bit bigger.
Yeah, we're getting bodies back on the floor. Newcomb now trying to clear Buns out of the way. 3-on-1 in that pack. Skater Kinney comes out and spears Phoenix Buns with a big shot.
Oh, and now Phoenix Buns is hit, and she's not happy.
And Hannah's going to call it off. That's a strong pack right there for Ohio. Buns, bars, Bratislava Bruisers, and Spears. She's going to call it off.
Nothing but hitting in that pack just now.
Kay Lethal's going to come on the line here for Cincinnati with the power jam still in effect, but she has 2 of her blockers in the box. 4-2 advantage for Ohio in the pack.
And And this jam is going to be brought to you by Dr. Hauschka. Celebrates the fresh faces of the WFTDA. Stop by their booth and get your fresh face.
Dr. Vroom here taking official timeout, it looks like. Now, you asked me the score the last time these two teams met. The last time they met, OHRG took the win, 131 to 105. So, yet again, close game there the last time they met. Close game here today, 38-25.
Did we see a lot of lead changes with that?
Not a lot of lead changes. It was basically Ohio out in Cincinnati out in front for the bulk of the game until the last 10 minutes, where penalties caught up and Ohio was able to overtake them and then get the W.
Looks like we're going to have a clarification on penalties coming out of that official timeout.
It looks like Cincinnati is going to field Newcomb and Kinney for this one as their two in there. Probably two of their premier blockers that they have in the pack. Definitely their two hardest hitters.
Somebody got a fourth minor. That's what the official timeout was for. A skater sent to the box on that one. Kay Lethal going to start this jam alone. And since he's going to take the knee,
Ohio's going to have Wayman, Pippi Rip Your Stockings, bars and buns on the front. And here it is.
And they're walling up. Not trying to not let Kay Lethal get that burst of speed coming out of turn one. Kay Lethal saw the opening and then got smacked by Phoenix.
And then, out of the box comes Kitty Lickerbottom, and she's lead.
And nobody saw her. Nobody. I'm not even sure her own players saw her. And she just runs the track using that speed, knowing she had that silent advantage.
And it looks like Phoenix Buns getting tagged again for a major. She's going to go out. And now Kay Lethal finally out. Her and Lickerbottom about to go one-on-one here on the outside.
And this is going to be a speed race now.
Well, both these jammers have legs and can move. Caden kick-ass back in. Candy going to slide in front of Kitty, and she's going to call it off.
And Kitty giving the fist to the Ohio fans sitting on the one side of the Indiana Convention Center here in Indianapolis, Indiana. Again, you're watching live coverage of Monumental Mayhem, the North Central Regional Tournament on the WFTDA. And don't forget, you can get the high-quality stream for just $20 for this playoff. It's absolutely worth it.
And how can you not get the high-quality stream? Can you see the stripes on Hellion Boy's socks as she's on the line? No. And pay the money. Get the high-quality feed. It's worth it.
We can, but we're here.
I see everything in high quality.
I don't, but I'm blind as a bat. Hannah Ocho Cinco, your lead jammer.
And now Cincinnati returning the favor of the wall as Pintapanga, Barracuda, along with Ruffin the Passer, now putting a wall of booty in front of Hellion Boy.
Hellion Boy, one of the heroes for Ohio yesterday, but is having a rough go at it against Cincinnati. And she finally gets through there, but it was not simple.
Hellion Boy's nickname is the Rabid Mongoose because that's the way she plays the game. She was Honey Badger before there was Honey Badger. She was a mongoose.
Honey Badger don't care.
Hellion Boy don't care. She will go against anybody, no matter what the size. And that's going to be a 4-0 run there for Cincinnati. It's going to bring it to 42-29 as Wonder Woman lines up against Kay Lethal on the line.
And this jam brought to you by Erie Insurance. Keeps you covered with seriously good insurance and outside the lines, a new kind of t-shirt. See it at the Spenlin booth.
Looking down here, Cincinnati taking the knee, now getting that winner behind a wall of black to start out. June with the cleaver making contact as well as Newcomb. So slow, Peyton.
And anymore, that's how this game is played. You're not seeing these packs take off like they used to because this is a more effective strategy. And a lot of times it'll give the jammers a burst of speed.
Multiplayer block called there.
And
Newcomb's
a power
going to get
jam for Cincinnati, it looks like, as well. Wendra got a penalty and is trying to speed to the penalty box.
Kay Lethal steps out and around. She's got lead jammer. And this is where Cincinnati is at their most dangerous with Kay Lethal on a power jam. 3-on-3 in the pack now.
Candy Kickass, Skater Kinney, and June with a cleaver. Don't want to call her June Cleaver by accident, mind you, out there against Phoenix Buns.
Yep, she's against Bratislava Bruiser, Buns, and Pippi Rip Your Stockings. Here comes Kay in the back. And stepping in, stepping around. She's through. That's going to be 5. June's going to the box right now.
And again, we've gotten down to a mini pack. 3 Ohio, now 4 Ohio versus 2 Black Sheep
Yep,
and K Lethal.
4 versus 2 right now. Bun's going to be the first one to greet K Lethal, able to get around. K going outside. Now Pippi Ripperstocking's up there. Bun's yet again with the hit. Bun's just always working, never stops. Buns is trapped on the back now.
And now we're all coming back. We're slowing way down because K Lethal's got to come all the way back, as does Wendra Woman.
Windra's in and all up in the grill of Skater Kinney, who's skating backwards the meter, now going the traditional way. Now Kay calls the jam. $52-29 is your score with 8 minutes 45 seconds left and change ticking away on the board.
And this next jam going to be brought to you by, look for Trigger in the Crowd to sign up for a free set of wheels from rollergirlskates.com. Also, Union Vacations is proud to provide the 2011 WFTDA MVP with a 1-week getaway to Mexico. That sounds pretty nice.
Can I pretend I'm the MVP and get the trip to Mexico?
No, I think it's a skater.
Duh.
That excludes us.
That does exclude us. Well, somebody that might have a chance for it here is Hannah Alcho-Cinco going up against Kitty Lickerbottom. And slow game getting worked there. Amy Spears trying to grind away on Hannah Alcho-Cinco.
And Hannah's going to get through there. She is your lead jammer for Cincinnati. You're watching live coverage of the WFTDA North Central Regional Tournament, the Monumental Mayhem here in Indianapolis, Indiana.
Kitty so quick, making up ground on the back end here. Hannah's going to hit it first. I'm thinking Hannah's going to call. Yep, gets the point and calls it because she also gets one for the box for Hellion Boy.
So she gets what is known as the ghost point. And again, another wave to the crowd from Kitty Lickerbottom. It's like she's walking the red carpet.
It is, man. Ohio's friendly with the crowd. Hey, a lot of people from Columbus made the drive to come here today, so you give them the acknowledgement.
It's not a bad drive from either place.
You're just trying to get tourist dollars funneled into Indiana, aren't you?
Absolutely, I am.
Do you get a cut of this from the state?
I absolutely do not. I just happen to very much love Indianapolis.
Very good, my friend. Candy Kickass on the line. Used to don the star a lot more than she does now. So Cincinnati throwing a lot of different stuff at the wall to see what sticks.
And she gets through there. Candy Kickass, and then has to go right to the penalty box. Oh.
She got, that's going to be a power jam for Ohio and Phoenix Buns. What happened was Candy's wheel went out. She had one skate out, had one skate in, and they called her for cut.
Meanwhile, Phoenix Buns facing that wall of black Newcomb up in the front, and she gets through there.
And this is what Ohio needs right now, down 54-29. Let's see what they can do with this run. Ohio trying to wall it, murder her in the back to get a goat. Newcomb bumps her. That's going to be cut. No, they're going to call nope, no pass.
Kitten Kicker and Barracuda up at the front, and Phoenix Buns gets through there and just calls it off. She takes the points for what they're worth here in the North Central region.
54-33 now your score. Buns doing some good work there. Going to tag in Kitty Lickerbottom. And this next jam is going to be brought to you by TIC Skate Gear. Talk is cheap. Take it to the track. Stop by their booth or website today, TICSkateGear.com.
And the winner of this bout will go on to face arch rival at 5:30 this afternoon. You can catch complete coverage of that right here on WFTDA.com. Kitty Lickerbottom starts alone on the jammer line and kind of eases her way into the pack. Pack is kind of strolling along there a little bit.
Kitty has the incredible burst of speed that she can work where she can start out slow like this, and then she'll get a step and just blast off, and that's what she's looking for right now.
Although it's very hard to blast off when you've got a big wall of black in front of you.
That is true. Roughing the passer, Mamie now. Buckhead Betty's got inside line. Candy Kickass now free from the penalty box. Let's see what she can make happen.
A nice hit in the back from Ohio, sending Mamie out.
Candy tries to sneak in, but not. Ohio sees her, not catches the body whip around Blatslava. Lead jammer, Candy Kickass, Cincinnati.
And Out of My Way Man has had some solid hits thus far this jam. She had a nasty hit yesterday against Bruce City and sent a girl flying.
Yeah, Wayman can put you down, that's for sure. But right now, it looks like Kitty Lickerbaum continuing to be contained here by the Cincinnati wall.
I know one thing Ohio has put the emphasis on, and they have for a long time, is endurance, and they're going to have to do it again here because, again, they do not have the depth at the jammer position that Cincinnati does.
And what Cincinnati's doing here is it's not rocket science. It's Buckhead Betty doing inside pack player 101. She's just containing the inside line. She got beat off it. Now she's going to come back down to it. That's what you do.
And a strong jam, a grand slam for Candy Kickass here at the North Central region here on WFTDA.com. Your score right now, Cincinnati 59, Ohio 33, with less than 4 minutes to go in this first half.
Kitty Lickerbottom finally out of the Cincinnati pack and now able to come around. She might not get back in for a scoring pass, and that's a testament to the defense that was laid down there by the Black Sheep. Checking it out. This next jam brought to you by Jules Doyle Photography. Check out No Mercy, the new Derby photo book from Jules Axel Adams Doyle. Great shots in there, and it takes you back through the modern Derby's history.
And have you checked out that book, Tank? It's wonderful. The pictures are great.
That man can take him a photo.
Again, if you want to see this in high def, you can subscribe for just $20. It's absolutely worth the price.
Lead jam there for Kay Lethal. She's got it, and now she's going out and around Phoenix Bun, taking another trip to the box.
Meanwhile, Paige Pulley jamming for Ohio. They're changing it up a little bit. Paige Pulley trying to get through there. This is their first time jamming this bout for Ohio, I do believe.
Well, she's through. Kay Lethal through. Look at that.
And just mounting up the points for Cincinnati, and she calls it off. 4 points for the Black Sheep coming off of that jam for Kay Lethal. Kay Lethal really the workhorse today for Cincinnati.
Yeah, I mean, when she's on, she carves it up out there like a Shaolin samurai. You know, she just goes in there and gets things done. The main thing with her is keeping that aggression in check and not getting any of those penalties. That's the one flaw in her game she's working on to try to get rid of. But when she's hot, you can't stop her.
I really enjoyed that last metaphor, Tank. I was going to say carved up like a steak.
I wouldn't mind a steak. If we're just giving those away, I'll take one.
They're not, but there are plenty of good steakhouses in beautiful downtown Indianapolis.
Hannah Alchocinco on the line going up against Hellion Boy.
A matchup we've seen a couple times this morning, Tank.
That's true, and right now it looks like Amy Spears is going up front. She's like, can we start this thing? Can we get this thing going?
Got a lot of nervous energy out there, and also it's a little bit cold inside Exhibit Hall A here at the Indiana Convention Center for the North Central region. And don't forget to hashtag us. Hashtag talk2 WFTDA. Hashtag WFTDA Big 5 and hashtag Monumental Mayhem.
Well, what you're seeing right now is Cincinnati is killing the time here. And now Phoenix Bun's coming back in, so it's 4-3
and
advantage.
Josh slaps Mamie. Just absolutely rams her.
It ain't the first time Mamie's gotten hit, and it probably won't be the last.
No, not today. Meanwhile, Hellion Boy is your lead jammer.
Now Hannah stuck behind Phoenix Buns. Buckhead comes up to move her out of the way.
This may be the last jam of the first half of this bout. Ohio versus Cincinnati in the North Central region, the Monumental Mayhem Tournament here in Indianapolis, Indiana, here on WFTDA.com.
Hannah going to be out the front, but lead jammer right now is at the back of the pack, and that is Hellion Boy. Hellion Boy working her way through, pass two, roughing the passer, going to the box. Mamie, last line of defense against Hellion, gets by her, calls it.
And 4 big points for Ohio coming off of that jam. It may not be enough. Cincinnati's going to head into the half with a pretty sizable lead over Ohio. And are they going to get the skaters back on the track for this last jam? We are at halftime. Your score right now, Cincinnati Roller Girls 66, Ohio Roller Girls 37 in this consolation bout. North Central Region, the Monumental Mayhem Tournament, live on WFTDA.com from the Indiana Convention Center. We've seen some hard hits thus far.
We have seen some hard hits thus far. You know, with the way this thing's breaking down, I agree with you. I think that Cincinnati has a much deeper jammer rotation than Ohio does. But I think what Ohio is doing well is their walls are working in there. They got to stick with that defense idea and force Cincinnati to make stupid mistakes like they did 2 weeks ago. Penalties mean everything in this game.
And they have thus far in this bout. We've seen Phoenix Buns, the team captain for Ohio. She's gone in the box for a couple majors, I do believe. And those can catch up with you to the point that you could get expelled from a bout. Welcome back to live coverage of this Battle of Ohio, the Ohio Roller Girls versus the Cincinnati Roller Girls. Your score right now at the start of the second half, 66-37, Cincinnati in the lead. My name is Peyton Slamming. I am here with Tank. Tank, tell us about the first half of this bout. Penalties are starting to become kind of a factor for key players on both teams.
Yeah, right now penalties is raising its ugly head for both teams. And you can see right here looking down the list, Newcomb has 4 majors so far for Cincinnati. Phoenix Buns for Ohio has had 4 trips to the box as well. So these ladies, if their second half is the same as their first half, we're not going to be seeing them by the end of the second half. So they got 3 left to work with.
Yes, they basically have to behave. Depth at the jammer position has also made all the difference in the first half. This was, again, an issue for Ohio in yesterday's bouts. They did not have the same depth as the ladies of Cincinnati.
Yeah, definitely. Cincinnati has got a bit more depth at the jammer position, although they are missing Wheezy right now from the jammer rotation. Wheezy is actually sick. Before the game, I talked to her this morning, and I saw she was really sleepy when I was talking to her. She seemed kind of out of sorts. Got to the building today, found out fever, not feeling so well, everything else. Coaching staff decided, let's rest you and see if we have you maybe later on this weekend. And so Wheezy's taking this game off.
And we wish her well and hope that she is feeling better. Again, you want to hashtag us, hashtag talk to the number 2, WFTDA.
That's right, and let us know your feedback. That's what it's there for, ladies and gentlemen. Is there something you want to see, something you want to talk about? Why don't you hit us up? I checked it at halftime. People seem to be pretty happy with the action that's going on. So give us some feedback on what you see going on out there. And you can say good things, too. You know, I realize it's Twitter, and it's usually 140 characters to work with to say snarky, sarcastic things. I do it all the time, at Tank of All Trades on Twitter. But at the same time, you can also say your stuff that you're liking and enjoying. Go ahead and tell us about that as well.
If you want to find me on Twitter, I'm Devin Scott Indy, all one word.
And right here, we're getting ready to get back to the action. Looks like Kay Lethal going to be lining up in the black for Cincinnati, going up against Hellion Boy in the white for Ohio. Your score coming back from half, 66-37. Cincinnati in the lead of this one.
And you are listening to live coverage of Monumental Mayhem, North Central Region. We are here in Indianapolis, Indiana, at the Indiana Convention Center in downtown Indianapolis, right across the street from Lucas Oil Stadium, home of the Indianapolis Colts. And we are about to get it going. We're hearing from fans from both Cincinnati and Columbus. Very short drive to Indianapolis from both spots.
It is a beautiful drive in, and now here we go. Kay Lethal working him back at the pack. Hellion Boy on front end. Only got Candy Kickass to beat. Candy tries to leg it, can't get it.
Got Ohio slowing down there, trying to sort of corner Kay Lethal.
Well, Ohio had a lot of success with this in the first half with those walls, and they're going back to him here, and it's a wise decision. Now Kay Lethal playing the part of an extra blocker for Cincinnati. And Kay right there finds a hole, gets out. Pippi Ripper-Stuckings going to the box.
And the interesting thing about Cincinnati, we were talking about depth. Cincinnati is able to rotate their players through positions as this jam comes to an end with a 0-0. Cincinnati has had a lot of girls come out to the jammer line, and those same girls are going out to block, play pivot. That's so crucial to any team.
Well, Ohio has got less of a depth chart than most other teams, but because of that, they also have an incredible amount of cardio because they're used to playing a short-handed game. Therefore, they're used to being in a situation. Now, everybody lining up on the jammer line, Peyton.
Got Hannah Ochocinco versus Kitty Lickerbottom. Kitty pretty much jamming every other jam for Ohio. You do got to hand it to her, given her endurance, because she's doing so much work for this team. And Kitty steps right through there like she's cutting through a steak and gets lead jammer. She's got that smile on her face. Every time she gets lead jammer, it's like she's won an award.
Kitty Lickerbaum is just a positive person. Now she's running through this thing. Nice step through on the front. Cincinnati getting the walls on the front end right now. Ohio got the back end. She calls it off. What kind of points, though, did she get?
Looks like 2 points, I believe, for 3 for Cincinnati, 0 for Ohio.
So she tried to get the call off there, did not get it in time. That's just hustle by Hannah Ochocinco. That's just pure, unadulterated hustle.
All right, we've got a technical issue on the stream right now involving the scoreboard. We will get it resolved as soon as possible. Meanwhile, we'll keep you in the know about what the score is here. Your score right now, Cincinnati 70, Ohio Roller Girls 37, here at Monumental Mayhem, the North Central region.
And checking out Twitter right now from the Talk to with the Derby Deeds sent us one, says, why do these two teams hate the pivot line? Well, it's the way the game's going nowadays. The jammer line is the new pivot line.
I'm going to go the opposite on that and say they love the pivot line. That's why they're not on there.
Well, right now, Kay Lethal's loving having lead jammer, and she's out front. Amy Spears with a big shot right there, putting down June with the cleaver. Kay up and around and calls off the jam.
Cincinnati getting some more points off that one. Your score right now, Cincinnati in the lead, 74, Ohio 37. And this next jam is going to be brought to you by, stop by the Dr. Hauschka booth and check their amazing bruise healing and skincare products. Also by Adam Wheels, the official wheel of the WFTDA, and Rydell Skates, proud partner and the official skate of the WFTDA.
I like to use the Hauschka, the Ouch Aid on my thumbs because I'm playing a lot of Gears of War 3 lately, so it really helps out to keep my thumbs looking beautiful and in pristine condition.
How often do people see your thumbs?
I'm a hand model. What do you want?
You're a hand jockey?
I don't even know what to say about that. So right now,
you guys were different than the Face Boys.
Well, right now we're going to be taking a look at what's going on out here. Official timeout being taken as they sort things out.
I believe we're trying to clarify some penalties on this one.
Checking out Twitter right now. Give me more. GCR says, I can't stop saying it. The HD feed, the high quality feed is so worth it.
$20 for this playoff. It's a high quality stream. It's worth every penny.
The pivot line is hitting us up on Twitter right now. Let the skaters know I'm still here. Oh, the pivot line, so lonely.
Does the pivot line know the Bronx Zoo Cobra, I wonder?
I don't know. We'll have to. I'm gonna have to see. Pivot
I find
line?
that suspicious.
Get back to us on that one.
And Hannah Ochocinco comes out and gets a lead jammer pretty easily.
Hannah Ochocinco through Cincinnati again, going back to the wall. Buns going to the box. This is going to be trip number 5 for her.
And she's got to watch out for that. She could end up. No, they're waving her off.
Whoa!
Oh, and then she runs into a ref.
Good Lord. It's
Nick, I think we can say with fair certainty that being a ref can be just as dangerous as being a skater.
It's like the safari on the Serengeti right now with zebras getting taken out here.
Nicely done, Tank.
Hannah Ochocinco still in the lead jammer position. Ohio's got 2 in the box right now. As soon as one of those exit buns is going to have to go in. But right now they lose their jammer. It's Power Jam Cincinnati. Hannah gets through again. 1 left to beat up front. Barracuda now taking on Pippi Rip Your Stockings.
And now Phoenix Buns is coming out to the penalty box.
Lorraine Acid Free, she's back out there. 2 on 4 in the pack. Cincinnati trying to trap a goat, getting all up in Lorraine's face.
Pushing her to the inside a little bit there. That's always an effective way to do it.
Inside's open.
And here comes Hannah Ochocinco. She gets the grand slam. Hannah's had quite a bout, Tank.
This is what Hannah Ochocinco does when she takes firm command of these power jams. And here she comes again. Inside, line up on one skate through and taps the hips. Kicking her leg up like a rocket there to end that jam.
Hey, if you can do it with some style, why not?
Why not indeed?
This next jam brought to you by Protect Dent Mouth Guards, the first thoroughly scientific mouth guard for the Derby player. Let Vanilla Derby take you to success with our leather Renegade and straight jacket boots. And PDACoolstuff.com, we make what's cool, and that's how we roll.
Right now, looking at the score, 94-37. Cincinnati in the lead with just under 25 here. Kay Lethal lead jam. Cincinnati is on fire here with lead jams in the second half.
Cincinnati's just not looking back at all. I mean, they're just taking off here.
Well, Ohio has found themselves in foul trouble in the second half, and that's really affecting them right now.
Kitty Lickerbottom, the Ohio jammer, again.
Kitty walled off Kay Lethal through on the inside line. Cincinnati's controlling the inside line in this game right now.
And Kay Lethal gets the grand slam again, coming off of this jam. Your score right now, Cincinnati probably about to cross the century mark. Ohio sitting at 37.
Yep, Kay going to come through on this pass. If she can get 1 point, that's going to break it into triple digits. But look at Kitty Lickerbottom on the back end making up ground.
Kitty Lickerbottom can become so lethal with her speed, and Kay Lethal calls it off.
0-0 on that last pass, so Cincinnati's going to hang at 99, Ohio at 37. Timeout taken by Ohio.
Your score right now, Cincinnati with a commanding lead over Ohio, 99-37.
This is a smart timeout here by Ohio. They came out at the beginning of the second half. Cincinnati's on fire. Ohio's wanting to cool that. Apparently the strategy they had at half, they got to reformulate, retalk. They got to adjust to what Cincinnati's bringing out against them, and that's what they're doing right now.
And what Cincinnati is throwing at them is pretty much everything, including the kitchen sink, because they've got the depth. Even with Wheezy out sick, as we mentioned at the top of the second half, it doesn't matter. Cincinnati's able to rotate their players through the positions. They have the depth. They have the depth at all the different positions, and they are able to get that go, corner that one player, and you control the whole pack.
These two teams met 2 weeks ago, and in that game, Ohio got the victory. Now Cincinnati up in this one. Everybody checks back in. We got a clean penalty box, so it's going to be two jammers on the line and a full pack 4-on-4. And Vroom skates back on, and we're standing.
If the jammer line starts a Twitter account, will you let me know, please?
I will totally let you know. Mamie going to be going to the box. I mean, sorry, not to the box, but to the bench. There's the whistles.
And now they're inching forward.
Come on, you can do it. You can do it. Keep going.
I love how you're just willing them forward, as though your words are like the Force.
I'm using Jedi mind tricks to be like, just skate. Here we go.
That really works?
It works all the time. You should see me open doors at the supermarket with it. And there we go. Hannah is getting hit by Bars. They gotta let Bars has got to let her go out of play, and she's going to go to the penalty box for it.
Meanwhile, Hannah gets the lead jammer status after clearing the penalized Ohio player. Again, you are listening to live coverage of the Ohio Roller Girls versus Cincinnati, the North Central Region Monumental Mayhem in Indianapolis. Hellion Boy making her way up there, and Hannah calls it off.
Hannah a little late with the call off there, and that'll let Hellion Boy to get 4 big points. Man, good hustle there by Hellion. Amy Spears getting sent off with a 4th minor there. That's going to put her in the box. 2-2 in the box right now for both teams, just pack players though. So we're going to have a micro pack out there to start this jam off, and we are going to have both jammers on the line.
And again, it's the two workhorses for these two teams. Kay Lethal for Cincinnati, Kitty Lickerbottom for Ohio. I wonder if Kitty Lickerbottom is taking naps between each bout.
Well, she does have 9 lives. I can't confirm if that's true or not, but I think she does. And Kill Bossa goes, we're going to start this thing, and just goes on a dead sprint to get to the first corner.
I think she just got frustrated with the slow back. And Kay Lethal gets lead. Kitty, meanwhile, still in the back. I think she got a little confused as to what her teammates were doing there.
Bossa going to lead her up right now. Bossa trying to get up into that wall that Cincinnati has created. Buckhead Betty again going to inside line. Candy Kickass off 4th minor. Inside line goes Lethal, now goes outside, gonna try to step down in, finds an opening, gets hit, but Bossa stays up and in.
Your score right now, Cincinnati racking up the points up to 108 over Ohio 41 with less than 21 minutes to go in the second period.
Kay Lethal now looking to kill a little time, gonna be going up against Kitty Lickerbottom, slowing it down and trying to contain her.
And Kay Lethal's switching over to blocker. We're gonna have a little jammer on jammer.
Kay Lethal trying to peel time off that clock right now.
And using the hip checking and the booty blocking to her advantage to slow Kitty down.
She's got her locked in, peeling her off. Amy Spears is going to be the first player either of these two meet here on the back. And Kay calls it.
A very smart series of events on the part of Cincinnati on that last jam tank.
Yeah, Kay Lethal there doing some good work right there, really killing clock and taking time away from Ohio right now. Ohio is going to need to use the clock, and they're going to need to get the points on the board to come back into this thing and try to get the win.
We also want to say thanks to Grand Monster Roller Sports, Fast Girl Skates, Five Stride, Sun King Brewing Company here in Indianapolis, Derby Supply, and Flat Track Revolution.
Right now you can see Paige Bleed lining up behind Hannah Alcho-Cinco. Hannah's got the side mirrors working on her helmet right now, trying to keep her in her peripherals. Hannah Alcho-Cinco is unstoppable in the second half.
You can't stop her. You can only hope to contain her.
Well, she hasn't been containable in this half either. She's just tearing through walls on the front and getting lead jammer. And she goes through again, and that's more points Hannah's on in this game.
Well, as you said at the outset of this tank, she's out for blood.
Well, Hannah's been around Derby for a long, long time, played the sport for a number of years at a high level. And when she's on her game, she's very hard to shake. You know, you hear basketball players like Michael Jordan talk about being in the zone. Hannah Alcho-Cinco is in the zone for this game.
And right now she's booty blocking the heck out of poor Paige Bleed, coming up for only her second or third time at the jammer line for Ohio this bout.
Cincinnati really wanting to grind it here, really wanting to use that clock against Ohio in this game. This is something you see Steel City do a lot of with their jammers in late games when they're up big.
Lorraine Acid was up at the front there trying to break up a wall and kind of got hit out. And this jam is going to come to an end, but not before some serious booty blocking on the part of number 85.
1 point for Hannah, 0 for Ohio. That's going to adjust it to 114-41.
With a little more than 18 minutes to go in the second half of this second bout of day 2 of the North Central region, Monumental Mayhem, here on WFTDA.com.
Roughing the passer and Buckhead Betty going to be the first thing that either of these jammers is going to meet as they're right in front of Hellion Boy. And there's the double, and that's going to send the jammers.
And Kay Lethal tries to take off, and she stays on 1 foot. Amazing balance there.
Woman's got balance like a yoga instructor. 4-on-2 pack right now. Cincinnati's got Skater Kinney standing up. Fourth miner's going to send Buckhead in.
And Buckhead got that, tangling up with Lorraine Acid. Lorraine Acid using her small stature, as it were, to lay some big hits on some taller girls.
Kay Lethal now on the front end, going to try to fight out the front, and Wayman coming up and smacking her. 4 points up on the board for Hellion Boy and the Ohio Roller Girls. Kay trying to call it off. That's going to be power jam.
This is a big opportunity for Ohio, and Ohio gets the grand slam as Kay Lethal comes out. And we got a couple of skaters slow to get up. Reforming the pack now. Hellion Boy gets knocked down.
Major back block right there going to Skater Kinney, and now it looks like they're going to assess a penalty to roughing the passer. She made the hit, comes back in. Oh man, that penalty box is filled with Cincinnati right now.
I think Skater Kinney is getting close to being some foul trouble too.
No pack signal. Newcomb's got to step back in. Buckhead Betty says, "Come to me, my children.
I will lead you to the promised land of victory."
And now, and she's trying to call off. They're gonna call her for. She's not able to call off the Jam Hellion boys. Not. They're gonna call for the legal procedure.
Your score right now, Cincinnati 114, Ohio gaining some ground with 55 points with less than 16 minutes to go in this second period of this second bout of day 2 of Monumental Mayhem, the North Central region.
There's minors, there's majors, there's all sorts of stuff going on.
That was a mess of penalties in that last Jam Tank.
I feel like I just got done doing like college calculus right there. I'm so confused.
I never took calculus, and there are reasons for it, and I think I just saw it.
Yeah, no doubt. I think there was something with an X and a Y, and then we had to solve for the W there. I don't know. All I know is right now, let's get the numbers that matter, and that is Cincinnati's got 2 in the box, including their jammer. Their jammer is standing, so she'll be out in 10 seconds. Chainsaw going to be on the line for Ohio jamming.
And we've got a timeout right now by Cincinnati. Again, Dr. Hauschka, the WFTDA's official bruise healer. Lose the bruise with Dr. Hauschka's Ouch Aid, which Tank informed me earlier he uses for his thumbs. Does that mean you're going to get a copy of that new game, The Old Republic, when that comes out?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Star Wars, you got to get that.
I believe I'm going to take a shot at that as well.
Excellent. So here in this one, let's see what we got. Do a little bit of housekeeping here. We got 117-59 is your score. Cincinnati up 15-24 left on the board in this one as we enter the final 15 minutes of this game.
Your score right now, Cincinnati 117, Ohio 59. Here on WFTDA.com. Coming up next, Minnesota versus Detroit, a sort of clash of the Titans coming out of yesterday.
I am going to put my fan hat on and sit down and watch that for sure.
Good times, fun times, neat.
Announcer coat comes off, fan hat goes on. I'm going to be yelling my guts out there. It's going to be awesome. Minnesota versus Detroit. This is a marquee North Central matchup. Both these teams have been powerhouses in this region for a number of years. They've had a history with each other where back in the day, Detroit knocked off Minnesota back in one of the original tournaments. Then last year, Detroit was favored to win. Minnesota upset them, and that took them out on the way to going on to the WFTDA championships.
And both of those teams had victories over the powerhouse Naptown Tornado Sirens, who defeated Cincinnati last night and are the tournament hosts.
Naptown's looking good, man. They're like a Swiss Army knife. They got a little bit of everything in their assortment to play against you with.
And they've had some players come in from leagues like Fort Wayne and Black and Bluegrass making the transfers, and it's just improved a depth that for them just seems unstoppable. They always have more players, which is something, honestly, Ohio could use more of, especially in these circumstances.
And I'm pretty sure there's one other team that's going to be playing this afternoon. Windy City. Windy City, the undefeated in the North Central monster that has controlled this division for a number of years now. Never been beat by a North Central team. They're heavy favorites to go on and take the number 1 seed again from the North Central.
It's going to be Windy City versus the Naptown Roller Girls, the marquee matchup this evening at 7:30. You can catch live coverage of it right here on WFTDA.com.
I'll be interested to see in that game what Naptown brings, if they're going to try to go up against Windy City and try to match power with them, or if they're going to try to use some of those things they used last night against Cincinnati to get the W, where they're really playing around with their positioning and how they set up their packs.
And Skater Kinney has fouled out of this bout. We were just talking about her being in some foul trouble. She is done.
Well, Skater Kinney fouled out last time these two played, and when she was out, that's when Ohio came back and got the W. Could we see a repeat of that here today?
We've got Texas Chainsaw Sass Kicker. I have to say that slowly as the jammer for Ohio.
Kay Lethal through. Kay Lethal not going to be lead jammer. Chainsaw is your lead. Chainsaw now coming up against Buckhead. Buckhead rides her out. They're going to call blocking out of bounds on Buckhead. Buckhead's got to go take a seat.
And Chainsaw calls it off. A pretty brief, looks like she got 2 points coming off of that. Your score right now, Cincinnati 117, Ohio 61 with less than 15 to go in the second half of this bout.
Cincinnati might have went to the well a little too early there with getting the trying to take time off the clock, because right now Ohio's surging with a comeback.
Let us know what you think. Do we sound good? Do we sound terrible? Do you like us? Do you want us to send you free steaks? What do you want to see more of out there? #talk 2, the number 2, WFTDA on Twitter.
Back to the action we go. Kitty Lickerbottom now trying to get towards the front end there. Karma Crash has got her. Karma trying to bring her back in. Hannah Alcho-Cinco sees open inside line. Lead jammer Alcho-Cinco. Minor back block on Kitty Lickerbottom. That's why she didn't get it.
And meanwhile, we've got the speed demons here. These two actually are pretty evenly matched when it comes to speed, and this is a race. And Hannah calls it off before Kitty can even get close to the back of the pack.
Well, right now, these two teams have very different strategies as the clock winds down in this one. Ohio's got to get points. They got to get points in bunches here. Lots and lots of points very quickly. They need not just like 4-0 runs, but they need to start digging up like 8-0, 10-0, getting double-digit jams. A power jam would be good for them. Cincinnati, they're just trying to get all the time off the clock and get out of here with the W.
In the last bout, we had a 34-point jam and a 20-point jam. That sealed the win for the Chicago outfit over the Dairyland Dolls. And that's what Ohio has to do at this point in time. Kay Lethal coming out real quick, sliding through there like the hot knife through Italian garlic bread.
And Barracuda now holding in Chainsaw. Got to let her go. She goes up and out. Kay Lethal, though, is going to be the first one to re-enter the pack to try to score some points here. Bars and Pippi Rip Your Stockings working together. Pippi Rip Your Stockings, one of the original Ohio Roller Girls, played in the first season. Handlebars came in the second, and they've been teammates for a number of years.
And it looks like Kay Lethal was trying to get the back block call and couldn't do it. She was signaling to the refs.
Catches a whip there from Pentapanga. Kay Lethal going to the front, and they're going to say pack is back here, and they're going to say 20 feet out. Yes, out of play call on the handlebars. Got to let her go. Pippi now going to the box. Bratislava, the only Ohio pack player in there right now with Chainsaw coming up behind her.
So Ohio's got the mini pack at this point against several Cincinnati players, and Chainsaw goes down.
Buckhead goes down, like gets kicked in the face with a skate right there, and she's got to go to the box.
And that hurts.
Yeah.
I've had it happen to me a few times. I won't even lie.
Yeah, ouch, ouch, ouch. All right, 2-on-2 pack right now. Pentapanga going up against Lorraine Acid, Bratislava Bruiser. They got the wall. Kay steps through it, comes back in, stays up, gets out the front. And we're looking for, we going to get points? There's points. There's 4. Had to think about that one.
And your score right now, Cincinnati 125 over the Ohio Roller Girls from Columbus, Ohio, 65. You're listening to live coverage of Monumental Mayhem in the North Central region on WFTDA.com. I'm Peyton Slamming, along with Tank.
And this is a great one we're seeing right now, Derby Nation. The Battle of Ohio taking a transplant today. It's over in Indiana. These two teams separated by about an hour and a half to 2 hour driving distance via I-71 in Ohio.
You know what I-71 doesn't have?
A scenic route.
A large statue of Jesus.
Oh, okay. Where's that coming from?
That's what's on 75.
Oh, yeah.
Between Dayton and Cincinnati.
That is true. We can talk about that in a minute. All right, Barracuda going to be going to the box. A major cut going up against Kitty Lickerbottom. It's going to be power jam for Cincinnati. Hannah Alcho-Cinco in the catbird seat here.
In the meantime, Kitty Lickerbottom was signaling, trying to get a penalty for Cincinnati. She looked a little confused as to why she was going out. Hannah Alcho-Cinco, we were talking about that balance and agility. She's also got the balance of a ballerina.
Man, and Pippi Rip Your Stockings rode that block all the way out right there.
She got to the 20-foot, 1-inch mark.
She was definitely using the 20. Buns getting tangled up there with Hannah, and they're going to say major back block on Hannah.
And Hannah's got a big smile on her face.
Yeah, I think she was wanting to get low block right there, and instead they gave it to they gave her the major back block.
And now Hannah is taking her very sweet time, because the second she sits down, Kitty Lickerbottom can come back in.
Kitty Lickerbottom meeting the bottom of Buckhead Betty, and Buckhead ain't moving. And now Buckhead's got to move back out to the penalty box.
Is Buckhead racking up a lot of penalties this period, or is it just me?
Yeah.
Seems like she's been taking a lot of trips to the Pine.
Yeah. Heavy headers get tagged a lot with penalties. I mean, you're making contact. Newcomb knocks out Kitty Lickerbottom, and Newcomb says, you got to come back in behind me unless you want to cut. And now Newcomb doing a little bit of a dance as she rolls off the track.
And Newcomb was in some foul trouble to start out this half.
Yeah, Newcomb did start out with some foul trouble, able to get it under control. As we go along in this one, 8:40 and change, ticking away on the clock. 129-65 is your score. Cincinnati up, but Cincinnati's jammer is in the box along with two of their pack players. Full penalty box for Cincinnati. 2-on-4 in the pack for Ohio. This is a good jam for Ohio.
And this is where they got to get something going, and they do. Hellion Boy gets through there, and as you said, the wild mongoose, the honey badger before there was honey badger.
Yeah, she just ducked the blockers right there, went under them like a limbo. And now Hannah Ochocinco back out, and then Hannah gets tagged by Phoenix Buns.
I don't think they're too fond of each other right this second, if I had to guess.
Yeah, they are definitely not sharing happy good times right now.
And Ohio racked up some points on that jam. Your score right now, Cincinnati 129, Ohio 74.
Katie Lethal checking in the line. Kitty Lickerbottom going to be coming out there as well. 2 in the box still for Cincinnati, 1 in the box for Ohio. Penalty trouble is the name of this game so far, as both teams have had a lot of trips to the penalty box. And I'm trying to look behind Cincinnati's coach Marty there. I believe that is Kilbasa in the box for Ohio.
Again, we want to thank Derby for All, Flat Track Revolution, Nuvo, also available at nuvo.net. Some of our fine sponsors helping us out. And again, hashtag us on Twitter, talk2 WFTDA.
Also want to give a shout out to our fine sponsor, Rydell Skate, the proud partner and the official skate of the WFTDA. Winner of this game goes on later this afternoon. Try to get everything updated with you as we look through our stat sheet.
And we've got an update. We've had another player foul out of the game. We were just talking about foul trouble. This time it's going to be the team captain for Ohio, Phoenix Buns. Hannah Ochocinco's alleged BFF, I'm being sarcastic, has fouled out of the game. So now we've had one player for Cincinnati, Skater Kinney. She fouled out, and now we've had Phoenix Buns, the team captain for Ohio, is out for the rest of this bout.
Well, now Kinney has somebody to talk to in the back, so they can hang out together and, listen to the house announcers on the PA for the rest of the game.
Your score right now, Cincinnati 129, Ohio 74.
Kitty Lickerbottom on the line against Kay Lethal. As I said, full box for both teams. So it's going to be 2-on-2 on the track. Amy Spears taking a knee. Roughing the passer and Pintapanga on the back end, and I wish I could see through Kay Lethal right now to give you the second Ohio player.
Use your Jedi mind powers.
Kay Lethal, move to the left just a little. It's not working. My metachlorians are low.
Oh, I see Pintapanga.
Yep. She is out there, recent transfer from the Kansas City Roller Warriors, a team that's going to be going on to the Continental Divide in Denver. Right now, we're down to 4 teams that still have a hope of doing that here in beautiful Indianapolis, Indiana, and that is Windy City, Minnesota, Detroit, and hometown host Naptown.
And one of the teams that's here that's kind of struggled, Dairyland, they've been to the WFTDA championships 3 times, 06, 09, and last year. This is kind of an unusual spot for them. Kay Lethal and Kitty Lickerbottom snuggling up in the back, and Kitty Lickerbottom gets through there. She is your lead jammer for Ohio, and Ohio pretty much has to get something going now because the clock has become a factor here, Tank.
The clock has become a factor. Pintapanga and Lorraine Acid meeting each other right now with heavy shoulder hits. Roughing the passer, going to the box. Pinta, the last one out there, that's going to be 4.
She's like a matador who's just tamed a bull, Kitty Lickerbottom. Waving to the crowd, blowing kisses. I'm waiting for them to start throwing flowers, which would be extraordinarily dangerous.
Yeah, I don't think you want to get flowers on the track. I mean, that could get caught in somebody's trucks, and that could just be a whole mess. So please leave the flowers at home.
Or give them to her later.
Yes, or give them to her later. But don't be one of those creepy fans that tries to do that. Be cool when you do it.
Wise words, my friend. Look, it's Hannah Ochocinco.
Yeah, it might be changing her name to Hannah Alcho Lee Jammer Cinco after this game because she has just been on fire in the second half. And now she gets back up in the pack. Lorraine Acid there, swinging a miss by Lorraine. Now one to beat Hannah Ochocinco, Amy Spears. Amy tries to grind it down. Got to let her back in.
I do want to give some props to Lorraine Acid. She has come out there and had some very solid hits for Ohio.
Yeah, Lorraine's been looking great in this game so far. Is really playing on this big stage. Ohio making their first playoff appearance in a long, long time. They haven't been here since they hosted the Heartland Havoc back in 2007.
And Ohio got here on the strength of their schedule, playing a lot of tough opponents during the regular season.
For sure, man. Ohio's for real. They're a real team. There ain't no question about that. They deserve to be here. Track cut by Hannah, going to be a minor.
And she calls it off.
Wayman tags Kitty Kicker with a shot there to end that thing. 3 points going up on the board. 137 to 78, 5 minutes remaining on this one. Paige Blee going to back way up here off the line. Kay Lethal going to be right up on the line. And checking Twitter yet again, you remember how I told you there was a pivot line? The Jammer line is now tweeting. I love how trendy I've become. Actually, we have two. We have the Jammer line and Jammer line both tweeting at us.
Again, do they know the Bronx Zoo Cobra or Honey Badger?
I would not mess with either of those things. Kay Lethal, though, messing with the front of the pack right now, and that's going to get her lead jammer.
I wonder how the Jammer and pivot lines like being run over so much.
Well, we'll have to get an interview with them at half. Kay Lethal going up on back of Dixie Heartless, can't stop her. Kay Lethal now going to get a body whip off and murder her. That brings her up against handlebars. Bars hits the brakes. Kay Lethal goes right around, catches a whip. Now against Kilbasa, and now finds inside lane, and that's going to be a tap on the helmet from the ref. That means that Ohio's jammer is a point.
Meanwhile, Paige Bleed having a very rough time. Buckhead Betty, who's been kind of the leader for Cincinnati in terms of blockers, not always wearing the pivot cap, but kind of acting like the pivot. Again, as you said, children, I'll lead you to the promised land.
That's what she does. Buckhead keeping it calm in this game and smart. Now Paige Bleed trying to come up on the back of that Cincy wall, but it's just thick out there.
Kay Lethal getting through there. She gets 5 points for the Grand Slam. Cincinnati merely extending their lead at this point in time. Score 147 to 78 with Cincinnati in the lead. We're at the 3.5-minute mark of the second period. Again, you're watching live coverage of the North Central Region Monumental Mayhem on WFTDA.com. I'm Peyton Slamming with my good friend Tank, and Kay Lethal calls it off.
Cincinnati on the power jam there to end it. Now her bench told her to call it off. I'm a little surprised they didn't keep rolling with it since Ohio's got their jammer in the box. Ohio's got a full box right now, jammer and 2 blockers. Well, as this weekend keeps going, this is the last of the region of the region playoffs for the WFTDA. The next event is the big event. We're going to Denver, Continental Divide and Conquer, the WFTDA Championships.
Very apropos name. And that's going to be coming up in just a few weeks, Tank.
It is. Buy your plane tickets if you don't have them, but if you can't spend the money, we're going to have it right here live on WFTDA.com, and the high quality feed's going to be there as well. So if you can't be there, you can sort of be there by watching it at home.
And it looks like it's going to be $20 for that. The high quality stream, definitely worth the money. You can see up close and personal Derby action. You're going to have some of the best teams in the world competing for that elusive WFTDA championship.
That's right. The Hydra can only be won by one team. And we're going to have to wait to Continental Divide and Conquer to see who gets that beautiful hardware for their shelf and the bragging rights that come with it. I mean, when you get down to it, I mean, it's not just a trophy, Peyton. It is a symbol that shows the hard work and the determination that these women have put in for years to win that thing. If you win a Hydra, it is saying your team is the best in the world, bar none.
Absolutely. And it isn't just like you form a team one year and then the next you're in the championships. It's not how it works. All of these teams that are here this weekend and in the playoffs in general have been working for years and years to, one, bring legitimacy to this sport, and two, to get where they are now. And you have to admire that.
I admire it greatly.
And it's all an amateur sport. No one gets paid for this.
Although if somebody wants to slide me some free food, I'm not going to say no to it, or some free merch.
You still looking for that steak?
Oh, man, I'm telling you, if you're giving away here in Indianapolis, I'll take one.
No, we don't give those away, unfortunately.
What kind of town are you running here?
A very nice one. We give away victories from our football team.
4-on-1 is what it's going to be starting to sing out. Bratislava Bruiser is all by herself out there, the only white jersey in a sea of black.
You've got Mamie, Kitten Kicker, Newcomb, Hannah.
Candy Kickass out there, and they're all going to take a knee. Oh, it's like high school picture time.
Are they all going to snuggle and get together and like have big smiles with their mouth guards in?
How can you not? I mean, that's what you do during high school picture time. Bratislava Bruiser looking around like, what are you people doing?
Do you see any of them giving the bunny ears?
Oh, totally. I'm expecting Mamie to throw some bunny ears up behind Kitten Kicker's head any minute now.
Mamie's got knocked around quite a bit.
Mamie's a success story, man. She's been playing this game for a number of years, and this year really took her off-skate training to a new level, started doing kickboxing classes, has really toned up, lost some weight, and is just in phenomenal shape, the best I've ever seen her in. She's always been a blocker. She wanted the jam, and this year she's jamming, and she's jamming at the playoffs here.
Right now we've got an official timeout, I do believe, because Cincy is contesting the points call signals on the last couple jams. They're asking for clarification, I do believe, so that's why we're at a stop and play right now. Did want to talk about, okay, it looks like we're going to get back to the action, I do believe.
Single whistle getting ready to blow here as the timekeeper counts it down. Mamie jumping all over the place, no pack signals, and Mamie just going to go right out to the right side as that's a big wall right there.
Is this Mamie's first jam for Cincinnati this bout?
It's her first jamming at the very least, and she's going to take full advantage of it here. 4 minors called on Hannah. She's going to go out. Going to be 3-2 in the pack. Tippy going to be on the back end the first thing. Mamie's going to meet, gets cleared out the way there by Newcomb. And now Mamie around out the front.
And when we say ran, she literally ran. As you mentioned, that off-skates conditioning can absolutely make all the difference in a skater's endurance, her strength, her speed, her agility, and Mamie's showing that right now.
Micro pack right now, 2-on-2 it is. Mamie coming around. Candy Kickass working against Pippi Rip Your Stockings. Inside gets opened up, and there goes Mamie. Mamie looking good on this jam. Now Paige Bleed back in. Paige Bleed coming up on the pack. She takes the inside line through. One-on-one with Candy Kickass. Candy puts the booty on her, tries to work it out with her, can't do it. Paige Bleed through. Mamie going to try to make one more pass. You're going to try to get 4 and call it. Let's see if she can get that done. And she looks like she's going to try to step out and around, and she's going to call off the jam.
And this one's probably coming to an end very, very quickly. We're down to the final 90 seconds of this bout. Your score right now, Cincinnati with a commanding lead over Ohio, 164-82 here on WFTDA.com. This is the North Central region, Game 2 on Saturday. Cincinnati coming out of a disappointing loss last night to the host team, Naptown. Ohio having some struggles.
Ohio definitely has struggled, but it's their first time being in the postseason for a number of years. But I predict that Ohio will get a W before the weekend is over. They are a strong team.
I will second that. Meanwhile, Kay Lethal and Kitty Lickerbottom again jamming. Again, I do want to give props to Kitty Lickerbottom. Her endurance is unmatched, and there are probably few players in this room that could do what she is doing and will continue to do this weekend.
Kay went to call it off, but then didn't call it off. Kitty back up in. Now, gets cleared by Ruffin the passer.
That was a hit like a Cincinnati Bengal Tiger.
Oh, and Kay Lethal asking for the out of play call, and there she's through. She's got 4. This pack continuing to reform and just kind of remorph itself each pass as the pack player is still jockeying for position in here. Now June with the cleaver up to the front end against Kilbasa. Kitty Lickerbottom through with a shove. Clock winding down. Kay Lethal looks at clock, skates backwards. Helmet to hips, helmet to hips. Cincinnati's got the W.
And as we were talking about throughout the last 2 periods, Hannah Ochocinco, Kay Lethal, both of them coming out looking for blood at the jammer position. But at the same time, both of these teams got into penalty trouble. Each team had a player ejected for too many trips to the box. Phoenix Buns for Ohio, and Skater Kinney went out as well for Cincinnati. Tank, your thoughts?
Well, my thoughts on this game is I want to see a rematch in 2012. Ohio got the W 2 weeks ago when these two met in Columbus. Cincinnati walks away with the victory here today in Indianapolis. I think these two teams need to meet again in 2012 and keep this going. It's an exciting rivalry between these two teams. They bring out the best in each other when they play, and right now it's anybody's derby match when they step out on the track. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in right now. I'm Tank. With me is Karma Crash from the Cincinnati Royal Girls. Karma, how you doing today?
I'm doing good.
Cool. So far, it's been a great time here at the North Central Region Playoffs. Cincinnati coming in at the 5th seed. And it's been an up and down season so far for y'all. A couple weeks ago, losing to Ohio, avenging that loss today. What was able to make that quick turnaround in just a short time of 2 weeks to go from losing to them to then beating them convincingly here today?
I think sometimes Cincinnati's problem is we get a little caught up with the strategies. We think a little too hard, and with that comes a mental erection. And when we get that mental erection, sometimes we lose focus of the basics. So I think that may have been what happened in Ohio, or my second theory is it was a fluke.
All right. Well, last night you took on Naptown, and you lost there. How did you feel in the game against Naptown? What did you think coming out of it?
It was fun. I mean, it was good. We went in with no pressure. We'd already lost to Naptown in our home season by about 70 points, so we really had no expectations. We went in and we wanted to execute the plans that we'd been trying, and I think we did that. Naptown is a great team who's come a long way, and they deserve the win. I think we had some good teamwork, and hopefully that'll carry through in the loser brackets, and hopefully we can keep the 5th seat. That's our goal now.
That's a good goal to have. I got a question for you. Noticing today different jammers coming into the rotation. Wheezy not in there this morning. Where was Wheezy at during the Ohio game?
Our poor Wheezy is vomiting. I don't know if it's a stomach bug, but Wheezy is very sick. So she's resting with her mommy right now, literally, I think. So hopefully she can shake that off and make an appearance later today or tomorrow.
Cincinnati clashed with arch rival back at 2009 at the playoffs. You got the W there. What's your prediction for tonight?
Prediction?
Yeah, what's your prediction for this game?
Pain.
Did you just rip off Rocky 3?
I did. Mr. T, yeah.
For the win, nice. But seriously, what do you think about going up against arch rival tonight? What's your thoughts?
Man, it takes me back. It was the days of '09 when they were the ones keeping us in the way from making it to nationals. And I mean, I can just be totally honest and say that I have no idea. I haven't kept track of arch rival. So I think we're just going to go in and play our game and see what they got.
Sounds like the thing to do. Karma, I wish you great luck in the rest of this playoff, and hopefully you can keep the 5th seed, okay? All right, cool, Karma.